Jenny McCarthy Show.
Oh! Corinne, you guys know her as the greatest all-time Bachelor villain, I would say hero, with one of the platinum vagines that everybody knows about. She's here to tell us about her thoughts on The Bachelor, this season of The Bachelor, and her new clothing line. Clothing collaboration with Riot Society.com, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Also, So Random, her podcast. You can find it on probably iTunes, correct?
Yep, every Thursday, iTunes or the Podcast One app.
Are you watching The Bachelorette this season?
I am, painfully.
Now, do you ever watch it and go, I totally could have been picked?
For what? For The Bachelorette?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I mean, I think the whole world knows I should have been The Bachelorette.
Agreed.
100%.
Here.
I'm just a liability. You never know what I'm going to do. I think they're a little bit afraid of me.
But see, that's where the magic comes in.
I know. Believe me, you're preaching to the choir here. Let's get Mike Fleiss on the line.
Yeah, right? I mean, seriously, I'm just going to go back for 1 second to the pool incident. You were doing your job. You were having fun. It's all because of one producer that I believe was a snowflake that was given the job by their daddy or mom who is higher up and said, oh, go work on The Bachelor or whatever, The Paradise. And she never saw anything remotely like besides kissing and freaked out. That's what I think happened. Am I close?
Well, okay. So if that was pretty. That was an intense day. I mean, a lot of things went down. I was blacked out. I don't remember the day at all. But things needed to be investigated, which they were, and everything was handled. But in the end, I know I didn't do anything wrong. I know that DeMario didn't do anything wrong. It was just something that needed to be investigated. That's all. Exactly.
I also think that producer needed to give an apology.
It got really uncomfortable watching.
DeMario and her.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The reunion shows, when you guys would all get back together, it was like, first of all, they didn't really explain ever what happened. They just kind of talked around it, but they just would grind down on you guys. It was like the people, it seemed like, involved with the show, like they made you seem racist. They made him seem sexist. And like they just did a great job of making you guys look awful, like both of you. And then the public sort of started to feel a certain way about it, and then they would just go with that temperature, and it was just really uncomfortable.
They didn't
and
have your back.
They did not have your backs at all. It was really awful to watch.
And then they forced you to go on TV and talk about it more, just to exploit a little bit.
It was a very uncomfortable period of my life. It was I was just uncomfortable with everything.
What did you learn from it?
I learned that I'm a really strong woman. And that if I stay true to myself and I stay true to what I believe in and I just tell the truth, I'm going to be okay.
I know. I felt like it probably might have changed you big time. And I was like, God,
I'm so mature now.
I hope not.
So mature.
I hope not. I'm talking to Corinne Olympios. Is it Olympios? Is that my saying it right? Okay, good. So what do you think about The Bachelorette this year?
Becca, I think, is great. She's beautiful. She's sweet. She's kind. Great TV. That's a no for me. Guys suck. I like Clay. I like the football player Clay. That's it. He's cute.
I mean, the guys seem so metrosexual.
They're just suck.
There's no men. They're all shaved neck to toe. And I think they really enjoy working out on each other.
It's just icky.
It is.
It's just icky.
Is Lil Jon helping Becca break stuff that reminds her of Ari?
I literally was dying at that. Like having him there was the weirdest thing ever to me. Like he was just like standing in the corner like, yeah, what's up? Like randomly, like so bizarre. I don't know what he was doing, but cool for you, Lil Jon.
I mean, ABC, you never know where they're going to go.
I mean, it's always a surprise.
Let's get Ozzy Osbourne to bite a bat in front of her and tell her that bat is Ari. You know what I mean? Dumb. In your season, you got tagged with the villain label. Who's getting that label this year? Lincoln?
I think
Connor?
It would be Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan, but he's clearly trying so hard to be like me. And I think he's trying to be the Corinne of the season, and I just really don't think it's working.
Okay, for those that don't know what that means, describe what the Corinne means.
Just like being out there, like he second episode took off his clothes the way I took off my top for the photo shoot, and like I don't know, just like says really, I don't know, the way he talks, it's like, are you trying to talk like me? You know when, like, you hang out with a friend? I mean, I do this to my best friend. I'll start saying shit that she says. But, I mean, like, that awkward friend that, like, you hang out with and then they start talking like you and you're like, wait, did you say that because I say that?
Yes.
And
you
it's
start
like,
to mimic each other.
Stop.
So do you think he was watching episodes of you and then just literally copied it?
I think he's copying me, yeah.
Wow. Total influence.
I'm on to you, Jordan.
Right?
I'm on to you.
I mean, what was the point where you were able to get your life back on track? Because I'm still like, I can't get over the fact of like, I know what it feels like to be in the center of a news item where the entire world is talking about you and you're like, holy
talking about my
shit.
private parts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm allowed to talk about my private parts, but no one else is allowed to talk about my private parts.
I mean, how did you get into therapy? What did you do? Because
I went to therapy.
Yeah.
I definitely went to therapy, needed therapy, worked a lot of things out. I started doing more talk shows and I started seeing all the love too that I was getting. And that really helped me, like my supporters and my fans and my family and my best friends. Like I'm so thankful for them. I couldn't have done it without them.
Because you were sincere in those interviews and the public can
gosh.
smell bullshit a mile away.
I had to really like be in my head in those interviews and be like, don't cry. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And there were times where I had to like swallow to like like hold it in. And I was like, so, I don't know.
It's weird, but you know, when you watch the show and you think about like, here you have like the show where like last year, like the last season of The Bachelor with Ari, like it's, you know, a lot of the Me Too stuff was happening and you're watching this guy like glomming all over all these women.
Right.
And,
he was so creepy.
And everyone's like okay with that. But then you have a woman who's like at peace with her sexuality and using it how she wants to and being a woman the way she wants to. And she's slut shamed completely.
Yeah.
Like it just seemed it's a really backwards way to go about things. It's like you should have been applauded for just being who you want to be with and how you want to be it.
I completely agree. I think that the way things are handled are a lot of things are not noticed that should be noticed, and a lot of things just aren't fought for properly. I could go on for hours about this because especially being in a situation like that personally, I just could go off.
Well, it's also, you know, there's a lot of blame on the media too because they love salaciousness, they love headlines,
they love
to keep the story
false
going.
Things. A lot of words were put in my mouth.
I know, it's really sad. Getting back to the rose ceremony, you slept through an entire rose ceremony because you already had a rose.
No, it wasn't because I already had a rose. It was because I was pissed off. And I already had a rose.
And you are, exactly. I was just about to say.
Let's get
and
real. I loved that you went to sleep because you were comfortable enough.
Like, listen, the girls should have been happy I was sleeping because then I just would have been doing more stuff to take away their time.
I love it. Do you think
you can't win. You go away, they want you there. You're there, they want you to go away. Come on, cut me a break here.
You know when they showed your tape of your home life before the show started. I loved seeing your dad. You look like you had a really close relationship with your dad. Was he heartbroken during all this?
Oh my God, my dad was not okay at all.
Yeah, because he's a little baby. He was getting beat up.
Yeah, but like neither was my mom, honestly. Me and my mom are just as close. Like my mom is literally my best friend. And she was just crying every day. And it was like making me more stressed out and sad that they were so stressed out and sad. And I was just like, this is like, it was just a lot.
Oh, and what about Raquel? Is she still your nanny? And did she give you love during that time?
Of course she did. But I mean, it was really hard. People found out like my grandparents' phone numbers, my house phone numbers, and they were calling them and saying like really disgusting things. It's like, why is it okay for you guys to call and say that I should die, but it's not okay for me to like have, something going on TV that like was an accident? But you're allowed to call someone and tell them to die. That's really nice, right?
It's pretty fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah, the world is so messed up.
You know, right after his season, Nick came in from The Bachelor and talked such nice things about you when the rest of the world seemed to be having an issue.
Yeah.
Was it tough for you being labeled a villain, or was that like something that you enjoyed at the time?
Nick was amazing after The Bachelor. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Probably at that time, I maybe would have dated him again after him and Vanessa breaking up.
That was a big surprise. That was a real shocker.
He was such a mensch. You know, he was just such a little dumpling, good guy.
Because he used to be a villain.
Yeah, but I don't know. I vibed with him. I just
That's
think
because he was supposed to choose you, Corinne. Let's just get real. He should have chose you.
Him and I would.
He was trying to clean up his image. He didn't want to be a villain anymore. He should have picked you, but he didn't want to dig a deeper villain ditch for himself.
Okay, can we just say how cute I looked when I left and I was crying?
Yes, you always looked adorable.
Oh, people sometimes bring it up and they're like, "I cried with you," and I'm like, "Thank you."
It's true though. Have you been invited back to any type of Bachelor things, or are you an outcast?
I'm in constant contact with my Bachelor fam. No shows just yet with them. I'm kind of working on my own stuff right now, so. It's exciting.
That's how you do it. Let me tell you. Make my own shit happen. In the history of Bachelor shows, I want you to tell me how these villains are underrated or overrated. I'm going to play some things. Or not play. I'm going to tell you some things. Chad Johnson, the Chad Bear. We kind of miss Chad on TV. Like, that's someone I wish was repeated, that type of character. He didn't eat carbs, loved to lift weights during JoJo's season. Underrated or overrated?
A little bit of both, actually, with Chad. I love Chad, but I think like it became almost like a joke, like a comedy skit that he would like overdo with the protein and the turkey and this. Like, it was funnier when you didn't try, because that was just you. You know what I mean? I hate when people try to be funny. Like, just be yourself.
He called in one time on the show, and he was. I don't think he went to bed yet, which happens a lot to my guests on the show. Sharknado 18. Olivia Caridi. She was one of the ones that was stealing Ben Higgins, and the other girls made fun of her feet. Underrated or overrated? Oh my God.
And her breath.
They
made fun of her breath.
That's right. So, for me, that's like a disgusting thing to make fun of. Like, I just think that there's a line that you should not cross when you're making fun of someone. And I don't know. I just don't have patience for that. I think that that's just mean and bullying. And listen, like, you're there to have time with the Bachelor or Bachelorette. Like, do whatever the hell you need to do to get their time. Like, everyone else can just shut up.
Right? Underrated or overrated? Do you think she is?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
She's underrated to me. I'm sorry. I'm butting in. She's underrated. When she was left
Wait,
crying alone on the rain. Come on. That was a moment. That was
so dramatic.
That you need to be, even more pronounced as a villain.
Oh, like, okay, so underrated would be like they should have been more pronounced.
That's
I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. I didn't finish my coffee today. I'm sorry.
Kelsey Poe, no worries. She had the dead husband. She faked a panic attack. And then
I don't like her. I don't know if that's underrated or overrated, but I just don't like her.
She's overrated.
With Ashley during Chris Soule's season. Don't you? What did you say, Donnie? She's underrated or overrated?
She's overrated.
She's overrated.
What about Courtney Robertson? Let me remind people, during Ben F's season, she's the one that said, "I didn't come here to make friends." Well, I guess most people really don't. You came here to find a
let me
husband.
go on The Bachelor. I need a new best friend. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Obviously not.
Hey, BFF. I mean, it gets weird, Corinne.
You.
But someone says that every season. Chad said, "I didn't come here to make friends." Courtney says, "There's always these characters."
I said it.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference. You broke through in a way that just you really went your own lane. Like, you went beyond. Like, nobody stays in bed during a rose ceremony. Like, you took it to a place of your authentic self that a lot of these people just fall right into the character roles. Like you said, there's a guy this year trying to be Corinne. They always have these certain lanes that people are in.
I know.
But what was cool about you is you just went totally, like, you would drive the other way up the highway, where the typical bad guy falls into the same cliches. I'm just here for you. I'm not here to make, they all say the same shtick, but you just went totally left field of everyone. That's why we're the best villain of all time. And it's not even a villain. You're just one of the best people on the show of all time.
You were, for sure.
I really, really appreciate that. It makes me feel so tingly inside. I'm not even kidding. Like, I really love to hear it.
We wanted a spinoff. It is weird when I saw it every year where the girls come home and talk about their date, and everyone's supposed to be like so giddy and excited for like.
My dad was like, "What the hell?"
Up. Right? That's weird. All right, continuing on underrated, overrated of the best villains ever. Josh Murray. He's the guy that loved pizza on The Bachelor in Paradise and then had an awkward breakup with Amanda, the single mom. Remember how weird he was?
Oh, he's the groaner.
Yes.
He's the groaner.
He sweat a lot, too.
Yes.
Like, that's
definitely
so
on
gross.
something. I think he might have been rolling.
Maybe a little Coke.
Maybe.
A little baggy.
Whatever makes you sweat was happening.
Yeah.
That was one of the best produced things, though. He would groan, and they would take his moans and play it like every time he was on screen. They'd play it as background music. That shit was awesome.
Corinne, I want to ask you, so while we have time, about your clothing company, Riot Society. What is it, and why did you start to do it?
Clothing and designing clothing has always been a thing I love to do. Like, my friends would come over on the weekends. We would go to Michael's. We would do iron-on T-shirts. We would bejewel things. My mom went to FIT, so it was something I shared really closely with her.
Wow.
Yeah, she worked in the fashion district in the garment center in New York for the beginning of her life, and my grandparents were in it. So when I had the chance to do it, I was like, I'm gonna do it. It's on my bucket list. It's a dream of mine. Let's do this, and I just did it.
Isn't it fun to create things? I absolutely am addicted
Michael's
to it myself.
is one of my favorite happy places.
Mine too.
That
I go
and
to
Home
Joanne
Goods.
Fabrics. I've learned how to sew.
Yes,
You
queen. Yes.
I have my own deal. And So Random. How long you been doing that?
It's been a little over half a year now. It's so successful. I'm growing with it every day. I learn more about myself on it every week. I have so much fun getting to know my guests and people and different thoughts that people have. It's my own space, my own time. It's my creative space. I love it.
I know. That's why I love radio. People that are tuning into you are of like-minded people.
Yeah.
And I feel every time a caller calls in, I'm like, I love them. Like, I could totally party with them.
Yeah. And when you meet someone and they're like, I listened to your podcast or I listened to your radio show in your case, how great is that?
I talk about it all the time. When I come back in the next morning, I'm like, oh my God, someone came out to me and I listen to the radio show all the time. I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
I know.
It's so rewarding. And I'm so happy for you, Corinne. I knew that you only just began. That was chapter 1 of many chapters coming up. Corinne Olympios, clothing collaboration with RiotSociety.com. So check it out. Also go to So Random. Her podcast. Congratulations. Come back anytime, girlfriend.
Thanks, girl.
She's only just begun to live. White lace and platinum vagine. She'll find a place where there's room to grow. Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!